Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 909 podcast, episode 12. I'm Jason, joined this week with just Justin.
What's up?
I think we're going to go by that little handle. We had an off week last week for whatever reason. Just didn't feel like doing it. And to be fair, we were being social, getting ready for the 4th of July, which we're going to get into a little bit later. Thank you for joining us this week. We're going to talk about a couple stories. We're going to give you your weekly recommendations as well as share with you what we are drinking this evening. Justin, what you got?
I have a beer by the brewery Dogfish Head. It's
Ooh,
a
okay.
their 90-minute IPA, so it's really
I've
good.
heard a
One
lot
of my
about that one.
favorites.
That's one of
Yep.
their more well-known beers. One thing we
What
talked
about
about
you?
last week is Dogfish Head is a stout, so it's a high octane. It's an IPA, so that also makes it high octane. One thing we talked about previously is the fact that I don't like good beer based on the beers that I've introduced and what they've said on like RateMyBeer.com or Beer Rater, whatever we use. And the last time we had I had the Victory Imperial Stout, which I'll be honest, I kind of didn't like. It was a little too bitter for my taste. 9.1% alcohol by volume, had like a 100% review, as everybody liking it. So it's kind of funny. Um,
Yeah.
this week, I'm going to actually change it up a little bit. All you gotta do is grab yourself a nice little glass of ginger ale and mix it with honey Jack Daniels.
Not bad.
This is actually a drink that I accidentally discovered. Local bartender who knows that I like Jack and Coke mixed one of these up by mistake. I showed up a little bit later. She gave it to me for free. So, yeah, that's cool. Mix it up a little
Excellent.
bit. Not too much. Anyhow, so it was an off week last week. Just busy with other things. And during that time, we actually had the 4th of July. Justin, what'd you do to celebrate America?
I ran 10K.
10.
Yeah.
Wow. What's that
Yeah, the
equate out to?
AJC like almost 7 miles. Well, it actually ended up almost being 7 miles. I can hear me in your mic.
Yeah,
In
turn
your
that down.
Oh. Well, yeah, so it actually, I'd have a little GPS thing on my phone. It actually almost ended up being 7 miles, but it's like six something 10K is. So, but I ran the AJC Peachtree Road Race, which is the world's largest 10K. Like there's like 60,000 something people, but then it's always on the 4th of July. So it's kind of cool. It might become like a yearly thing for me. It was pretty brutal. I finished in like an hour, 10 minutes.
It's
Pretty
not
fun
bad.
though.
Have you ever done 10K or anything like that previously, or was this like
No, that was my first race, first 10K, whole thing.
a lot of
What
training
about
going
you?
into that, or no?
Well, initially, yeah, but I actually injured my back in like April. So
Okay.
I signed up for it in March. Injured my back in May. It got better in like July or in June. So I was actually had really good times the first part of April, and then I quit running for like a month, and then I actually finished better than I thought I was going to finish though. So
That's
yeah.
cool. Great. It's good to hear.
What'd you do on America's birthday? Not really birthday, but kind
Yeah,
of
it's really
birthday.
in August, but that's when we celebrate it. I had plans that got canceled. Luckily, I had backup plans. Ended up at a nice little new spot that some of my friends and I have discovered. It's a nice little lake pond type thing, and show up at this place. You walk about a half mile down this trail, and there's a nice little island. It's got a rope swing on it. It's got a nice rock you can dive off of. Swim across about 100 yards. There's more rocks to jump off of. But at the main little island area that we were at, there's a tree branch. It's about 30 feet from the water. And when we showed up on this particular day, some gentleman climbed the tree, jumped out of it, and my friend and I looked at him and we were like, maybe. So my friend goes up there and does it, and then I walk away from it because I'm not that stupid. Until I got another drink or two in me, and I said, "Yeah, I could do it." And I walk over there, and the more I look at it, the more I'm like, "I don't think I can do this." To which my friends then say, "Yeah, we didn't expect you to do it, but we thought we'd see if you would." And at that point, you kind of have to do it. And I ended up jumping out of that train. I've jumped out of it several times since. And then after that, quick little movie recommendation. We went out and saw This Is the End, Movie with
Yeah.
James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson. So many cameos, and everybody just playing themselves. But what's hilarious about it is that they're playing like alter egos almost. It seems James Franco in the movie is absolutely in love with Seth Rogen. Jonah Hill is way too fucking nice for his own good, and Michael Cera is a coked out drug head. Um,
All right.
Justin, have you seen this movie yet?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I forget. Yeah, sometime last week.
yeah. I'm telling you, it was. I saw it with four very good friends, and at the end of the movie, I had chest pain. I was
Yeah,
laughing. I was
it's
laughing
funny.
so fucking
It's
hard.
definitely one of those ones I'll watch. I'll probably not download, but you know what I mean when it
Actually
comes
go
up.
by. Yeah.
No, I'll actually download it. I'm not gonna buy it.
Okay.
But if I wasn't a cheap ass, I'd probably buy it.
It was like
So
back in the day when we went and saw Get Him to the Greek. We had a really good time with that
yes,
one.
right.
So it's definitely one of those movies you have to go and see with a good group of friends. And by at this point, there's not going to be a lot of people in the theater because it's been out for so long. Anybody who would have wanted to see it has probably seen it. So highly recommend going to see This Is the End. So
Yeah, when we went, there wasn't a lot of people in the theater, but um, we also went. Actually, I went and saw Grown Ups 2
how was that?
Sunday, Saturday, Friday night at like 11, and there. I mean, that was the opening night, I think, and there wasn't like. I mean, it was 11, so there wasn't that many people in there. It was funny, dude. It was really funny. Like, it wasn't quite as funny as the first one, but like,
I did not see
it's
the
worth
first one.
seeing.
I did not see the
If you
first
watch the
one.
first
So
one and you think it's funny, watch the second one. I mean, they kind of focus like more on their families, which is kind of stupid because nobody cares about that. But they definitely set it up for like a third one, so there'll
okay.
be a third one. And it's actually one of those. I actually brought this up after I was like, yeah, they could make a TV show out of this. So you'll see what I mean if you ever watch those. They're like, I mean, it's Adam Sandler, and actually, a fun fact on that is that's Adam Sandler's first
Sequel.
sequel.
I
Yeah.
did read about that.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, I don't think it'll like be a TV show. It would be a good TV show. I just don't ever see Adam Sandler in a TV show. So, but dude, it has Shaquille O'Neal in it. That's
That's
freaking
random.
funny.
I will say this:
Yeah.
if you're on the fence about going to see Pacific Rim, the movie Pacific Rim, which if you've seen the previews, you really shouldn't be on the fence. It seems like one of those movies you'd want to see, just because of the magnitude of it. I believe I am seeing it this weekend in IMAX. So I will hopefully be able to have a review for you guys next week.
Sweet.
So let's get into some stories. I'll start us off. I like music. I hate Dave Matthews Band. Um, Never been a fan of him, but not a fan of Dave Matthews Band. However, something happened, I think, today or
Oh
yesterday.
yeah.
This was one of your stories, wasn't it?
No, I
Oh,
don't talk
okay. Did
about
you hear
that.
about this with
Faggot.
Dave Matthews
Yeah,
Band?
I saw the
Dave,
headline on the.
Dave Matthews was riding his bike without a cell phone, and for whatever reason, I guess he got a flat tire or maybe pedal fell off. I didn't see
Something.
anything mentioned in it in the article. Basically, fans that were on the way to his show in Hershey, Pennsylvania, to see him that night, saw him on the side of the road, not realizing it was Dave Matthews until they pulled over to go help the gentleman. They were like, "Holy shit, it's Dave Matthews!" They gave him a ride. He bought them dinner and bought them front row tickets to his concert that night, and even signed the tickets for them. So,
GGDM.
good game, Dave Matthews, indeed. That being said, does it change my opinion on ever stopping to the side of the road to maybe help somebody? Maybe if I have strength in numbers, you know. But if it's just
Yeah.
me and I see one guy who's obviously bigger than me, as much
Kill
as I'd
any
want to
guy.
help, you really can't take that risk sometimes. I've had friends that have given guys rides all the time, hitchhikers rides, and out of like the five people my one friend has said he's helped, only one of them really like was shady because he kept kind of reaching down passenger side like towards his leg. He's like, "What are you doing, man?" And eventually, like it was chill, but
What if it's a cute redheaded girl?
we're not getting into that topic. That never happens. That only happens in movies and television shows. I'm a part of it either.
I was going more along the lines of Haley Williams.
She's not redheaded currently. I don't believe. Whatever.
Well,
It's weird that I know that. So
that's not weird that you know that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I saw the headline on that, and I didn't feel like reading it because I mean that was pretty much it. So
yeah. I mean, there's you read the headline, that's it. But we'll post a link to the CNN article, which includes a video, so you don't even need to read. You can just watch the
cool.
video, and it'll explain everything that we just explained to you. So,
So there's really no sense in even going to it.
no, but we're still gonna do it because that's what we do. Maybe
Let's
they didn't
do
like the
it.
way we explained it. Maybe you want to see professional journalism explain it.
Then you might not want to go to CNN. Oh,
That's why I put the air quotes.
oh.
Anyway, what you got for us today, Justin?
Um, nothing related to those two. So if you got anything else,
Oh,
then
go on, man. Share with
the
the
only,
world.
the big thing I was gonna hit on is something we've been waiting for all summer, and that is the Steam Summer Sale.
Oh,
Currently going on. It's been going on for 4 days now, maybe five. Goes on through the 22nd, so I've already picked up like 4 games that I'll never play, but that's the whole point of the Steam Summer Sale is to buy cheap games, say that you have them, and then maybe eventually get to them. So, um, I don't know offhand what I bought. I know I bought the Kerbal Space Program, which is pretty cool. Um, I bought LA Noir. However you say it. You
Noir.
played that,
LA
right?
Noir. I've never played LA Noir. I really wanted to. I was going to borrow it from a friend who then told me the game doesn't really end. I mean, like it does, but it doesn't. I think it's
Yeah.
kind of, it's made by Rockstar, isn't it?
It's
So
produced by Rockstar.
yeah, so
It's not made
it's
by.
got that GTA feel to it, I would assume, of like the game's
Well,
completed, but the game's not completed type thing.
yeah, I mean it's like kind of, but not really. It's made by a completely different game studio. It's just produced by Rockstar. I mean, a lot of people call it Rockstar's worst game, even though it's not
Really?
their game.
Hmm.
So, but being Rockstar's worst game isn't a bad title to have because they don't really make bad games. So, I'm hoping that GTA 4 will go on sale because I own it for Xbox 360 and I bought it the day it came out, which was in April of 2008, by the way, so over 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So that game was fun. I played it with my cousin the day it came out in April 2008. I don't think I've played it for at least 3 years. And I was
GTA
kind of
5 is
hoping,
coming out.
right?
GTA
Yeah, I was
5
kind
is
of hoping
coming out.
4 would go on sale. That way I could like psych myself up because it comes out in like August or September. So I was
Hmm.
hoping I could get back in the swing of things because for those of you who don't know, GTA 5 is not going to be for PS4 or Xbox One. Well, at least initially, maybe if ever. So, and for those of you who don't know, it's going to be a 2 disc Xbox 360 game, and it'll also require 8 gigs of hard drive space. So, if you have a 4 gig Xbox, you're screwed. Unless you like get a thumb drive or a hard drive upgrade. It's going to cause a lot of problems, I think, because over
Yeah.
the past couple of years, Microsoft's really been pushing the 4 gig version of the Xbox, which will never make sense to me. But
There
whatever.
is no 4 gig version.
Is it not 4 gig, the
No.
latest one?
Well, that's like the base model. The base model without a hard drive maybe was that much, but I think most of them are 32. Like I think the one I have is 32, but they did up it to like I
No,
think there's
the 2010 they came out with the cheap one. It's a Xbox 360 4 gig console for $200.
yeah, not worth it.
Well that's what I'm saying. A lot of people have that one because you
It
know
was cheap.
well it was along the lines of when a lot of people's were RROD
That's true.
and like it was like I think it was around Christmas is when they came out with it. So the people that never even got one or didn't want to spend $300 for it, it blows my mind that it's still $200. But just beware if you have a 4 gig Xbox 360, don't count on playing GTA 5 unless you. I mean, there, like I said, I think you can get a thumb drive or even a hard drive upgrade to remedy that. But little
Yeah, I can transfer
fun
all your games.
fact. So, but yeah, Steam Summer Sale, it'll still be going on through the 22nd. There's like 12, no, 9 or 10 deals every day, as well as like some flash deals. Which I mean, if anybody knows about it, just obviously go there and check it out. It's cool.
Of course, we'll link to the Steam Summer Sale in the show notes. Justin, you like dinosaurs?
I love dinosaurs.
Everybody fucking loves dinosaurs. So it came out today that they finally found evidence, and this might sound a lot of to people who don't know dinosaurs. I'm certainly not one of them, which is why this was kind of surprising to me, I guess. Um, there's never been actual proof that the Tyrannosaurus Rex was. a predator. The assumption, I mean, there was always a lot of speculation. There was never proof. It was always assumed that he just kind of went. He was kind of like a vulture, you know.
Right.
Archaeologists found proof that the Tyrannosaurus Rex hunted for live prey. They found it in a fossilized, or they found a fossilized tooth inside, I guess, a fossilized platypus. So and they found it, where was it? In South Dakota, where apparently a lot of dinosaurs are. A lot of dinosaur fossils are up in that northern area, I guess, because that used to be the cold part. I don't really know. But yeah, so
Well,
they
that's
actually
good. Yeah, that's good because it's like it's almost like when they came out and said Pluto wasn't a planet. It's like there's some shit you should just keep to yourself. I don't fuck with people's emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like if they would come out and say that the T-Rex was a little bitch, and like all these movies and books and shit portray the T-Rex as being like this badass motherfucker, like just keep it to yourself. Nobody wants to hear that. It's not important at this point. You know what I mean? Like all you're doing is just like fucking up people's dreams. So I'm glad that either they're bullshitting or it's true. So I haven't heard that
I
though.
love how you just compared that to Pluto being demoralized to a dwarf planet.
Well, it's the same thing. It doesn't fucking
No,
matter.
I get it. Because we grew up with the generation of Pluto's a planet. Now there's that weird generation gap between us and the next generation where, well, it was a planet. Like, they're going to spend a lot of fucking money on new textbooks. Let me just put it that way.
Well, oh yeah.
I remember, oh god, I remember being in my math class, and the great thing about math is that it never fucking changes. Like maybe here and there in the more advanced things, but algebra is always going to be algebra, you know?
Right.
I remember having an algebra book that was written in 1985, and it says, it was a word problem, it said, imagine it's the year 2000. Cars can fly at 70 miles an hour. How long will it take? Well, how long will it take to get from point A to point B in 3 hours or some shit like that? You know? And it was just funny because this was the year 2002, 2003.
Yeah, it's about time to update those.
Yeah. But I mean, they're math books. What more is going to change?
Yeah, but
I'm going to try and find the article also because I remember talking about this at work with some other people. They found, I guess, they're working on replicating woolly mammoth DNA, I think. Yeah,
I've heard
did you
about
see that? It was like perfectly frozen. It was woolly mammoth. It was a perfectly frozen woolly mammoth, and they're looking to replicate the DNA, or maybe it was the blood, but they're working on it, which I think would be awesome. And it's weird. They actually found it frozen in ice, and I don't know if you remember an article that came out a couple of years ago about Mount Everest, the amount of bodies that are actually up there.
Oh, yeah,
Do you remember that? Basically, they're just hundreds. Was it hundreds? Like 50 to 100 bodies, I want to say.
I think more than 100 actually. Yeah, it's a lot.
So over 100 bodies up on Mount Everest, and because it's so cold, these bodies, and it's so cold and it's so hard to get to them, they just stay up there. And the creepy thing is, these bodies, because it's so cold, stay frozen and really only look like they freshly have died when they've been dead for like a couple months or something like that. It's very weird the way nature works sometimes, you know? So,
Yeah, just this year alone, there's over 9 people that have died.
and I brought it up at work, and one of my coworkers, was like, "Well, what about their families?" And not to make fun of the situation, but I mean, if you're climbing Mount Everest, your family's already written your ass off.
Oh yeah, they know going up
If there
there.
even is a family, you know?
Yeah, the death ratio is I mean it's not that high, but it's pretty high. Not to mention it costs like I think between like $10,000 and $20,000 to even climb Mount Everest.
Is it because you need like
So
a permit or just all the supplies and shit that you would need?
yeah, the supplies, a guide, stops at all the camps like leading up to the summit and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, so there's a breakdown. I'll see if I can find the article if anybody's interested in reading that. It's like it's like this for this, and it's like now if you want to take the cheap route, you can do this, and this, and this, and it's still like outrageous. So of course you still have to get over there.
Hmm.
Um, you're gonna have to be at least climbing for years before you would ever attempt that. But yeah, that's crazy. People risk their life on that and pay the price. But it would be cool to say you climbed it. Not that I would ever do that shit, but
Never do it. A lot of things. It's kind of like one of those questions. It's like, what's something that you wouldn't do for $1 million, but you would do for $1 billion? I honestly don't even think Everest falls in that category.
yeah, it's not like one of those things you could do. I mean, if somebody was like, give me like 20 years and to do it, I would fucking like train
Yeah, that's
for like 20 years maybe
I
for
don't.
a billion, not for a million though. Well,
I don't even know what like the average amount of experience you would need in order to climb Everest. I mean, I don't know shit about climbing, so
yeah, I don't either. I would assume it's a lot.
anyhow. So that's what I got for you this week. I ain't got much more than that. I don't know if you got another story
The
or if we
only
just.
other thing I had that we can just touch on, just because everybody mad about it, is the Zimmerman thing.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, I don't really give a shit either, so never
Here's the
mind.
thing. Here's the thing with cases like George Zimmerman. Also, cases in regards to Casey Anthony. You have this big media hype behind it, and you have all these experts. You know, your Nancy Graces, your CNN analysts, your Fox News analysts,
Wait,
your
did you say
MSNBC.
experts?
I didn't put the air quotes; they were implied.
Okay,
I hope they were implied.
okay. Well, just so everybody knows.
You have all these people that run on 24-hour news networks. You got to talk about something. Um, it, the thing is, there was such strong evidence from a media standpoint that Zimmerman legitimately killed this kid for no fucking reason. There was a report out about the amount of THC in Trayvon Martin's blood, I guess, and reports from I guess friends or family. I don't really know anything about it, to be honest. I'm just hearing this all from my coworker who had read into it a little bit. Basically, Trayvon Martin was known by his friends that when he smoked pot, he got a little aggressive. So
I haven't heard that.
that being said, the problem is that the way the justice system works is that you are innocent until proven guilty. What that means, you got to break it down as you didn't do the crime unless there's enough evidence to prove that you did. It's kind of like when it comes to the NFL, you've got guilty and acquitted. Acquitted means that there wasn't an. I guess it means there wasn't enough evidence, but you might have done
Well,
it.
no, you get
I mean,
acquitted if the charges are dropped, so it's basically not guilty.
okay. But it's kind of like when you look at you hear it all the time during NFL season whenever the red flag's thrown, or if it's under 2 minutes, it goes up to the booth. That sort of thing. All those plays are maybe controversial, and there has to be whatever the call is on the field. There has to be definitive proof to overturn it. So sometimes they'll come out and say the ruling on the field stands, or after further review, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. Something like that. The whole Zimmerman thing, I don't give a shit. I think.
Well, I think the big thing was he wasn't. First off, he wasn't arrested on the scene, which, believe me, cops would love to arrest a guy if they had a reason to. They
Mhm.
didn't have a reason to. Um, then it's done. That's it, right? Well, until like a fucking week later, until these media outlets start picking it up. Everybody, when I say everybody, I mean like extremists, like Al Sharpton wants like a fair trial or whatever. Well, normally that would go to a grand jury in the state. Well, they skipped that. They didn't even do that. So they basically just went, picked him up, charged him with murder, set it at $1 million bond, which is pretty much out. I mean, it's not illegal and it's not out of the line. I mean, it is out of line, but it's not out of
It's not
law.
illegal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not illegal. So whatever. I mean, I think the justice system worked on this one because it does suck that a kid lost his life, but at the same time, like you were saying, if there's no evidence, then you can't
Exactly.
assume.
That being said, karma always does find a way, in my opinion. That's why OJ's serving. Even though OJ's serving 20 years, he's serving 20 years at age like what, 66? OJ gonna die in prison.
He'll get out in like 5 probably.
I'll never forget one of my teachers was so fucking happy the day OJ was arrested for that shit. He was just like, OJ's finally going to go to jail. He was so happy. Um, one quick thing I wanted to touch on. There was a video on Reddit the other day, and I didn't watch the video, but the headline to the video basically said one. It was a black guy who had said that you had 8 black on black murders within a week before Trayvon Martin, no media coverage. As soon as a white guy killed a black kid, that's when it became a big deal. That being said, Zimmerman's not
And
white.
he's not even white.
Like it does suck that it happened. I don't know enough about it to really form an opinion, but basically, I don't think people should be going on Facebook and bitching and moaning about when they don't have all the details. Same thing happened with Casey Anthony thing, I, and Casey Anthony's a whole other story though. Whatever. Anyhow, let's talk about some recommendations, things that will make people happy, things that will be like, oh, I didn't know about this, or maybe you forgot about it and now you remember. This week, I'm recommending the website, besides our own, Woot.com, WOOT.com. Daily deals on anything, everything from random things, watches, tech things, home stuff, garden things, sport things, kids stuff, if you made that mistake, shirts, wine, and a random, like, grab bag of things. Daily deals, great things. Currently, I'm actually looking into maybe one of the, I think one of the sport things. Yeah. Currently under, if you go to Woot.com, or you go to sport.woot.com, they currently have a 5-person tent. Retails for $108, on sale for $50. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Not bad.
Yeah. There are 2 days left on it, or until it's sold out. I, for one, might be going camping within the next month and a half or so. So this would be a great buy for me. $50 for a 5-person tent. That's me and 4 other women that will only exist in my mind. And, I mean, daily deals, guys. Easy.
Check
Saving
them
money.
out.
Check them out. Justin,
Not
what you got this
sponsored.
week?
Not sponsored by Woot, but we could be.
Oh, that'd be
No, I
awesome.
don't have any. I don't have anything this week. I
You
didn't
don't have
think about
anything
it.
this week? Oh, well. So, I think since, you know what, I'll let you do this. You're the one that introduced me to Woot.com, I believe. This week, this is a dual recommendation. You didn't give a thumbs up. It was supposed to be like a thing. Anyhow, there it is. Okay, so I think that'll go ahead and conclude our 909 podcast this week. Thank you for stopping by. We realized it was short and there weren't a lot of great topics, but hey, you're lucky we're still doing this. 12 episodes in the bag. Next week it's going to be a baker's dozen. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Jason.
I'm Justin. See y'all.
See ya.